As you read from the title, I think Disventure Camp is getting, well, repetitive. What do I mean by that? It honestly seems like the writers are having issues when it comes to some eliminations. I honestly don't know why or what led to these types of eliminations because they weren't an issue for Season 1 and 2. Actually, pre-remake Season 2 also had this issue. I guess that goes to show how much better those seasons are written compared to the more recent seasons from All-Stars and on. Now, Disventure Camp is a scripted reality TV show, which means some things are obviously going to be repeated, but when they're repeated so much, it starts to get, well, repetitive. I'm going to give you an example of a style of elimination or the way of getting information is. I want you to think about what specific elimination I'm talking about. Now, here's the situation. The writers clearly want one character to stay over the other or want one alliance to learn about certain information. Instead of using advantages or having someone flip naturally or having someone look this information or better yet just having that person get eliminated, what they do is this. Character A and Character B both are in separate alliances going against each other. Character A talks to their alliance, but Character B followed them or accidentally overheard the alliance's plans. They then later convince Character A to maybe flip in one way or another, leading to a shocking blindside elimination or telling their alliance / everyone about the information. Now, what elimination or scenario did you think of? You might have thought of Season 3 when Aiden saw Rhea and Alec kissing. You might have thought of the Season 2 remake when James records Carol's plan to Rhea. You might even say the most recent elimination where Aiden overhears Ernesto's alliance. If you said any of those answers, then you are correct, because it is all of them. I don't want to go through every instance of this, so I'm mainly going to focus on the Aiden ones, because he's my favorite character and one of the worst victims of this kind of writing. Also my queen Amelie, but she only has one instance of this, thankfully. Anyway, let's start with chronological order. So, the Season 2 remake, Snow episode. In the episode, Aiden is mad at James for thinking that he voted out Lake, even though he hates Carol, knows she's Aiden's friend, and would most likely help them over anyone else. And it's just, why? I can't even say they handled this better in the beta, because it's quite literally the same exact thing. Now, I know Aiden has some trust issues, but Aiden has no reason not to trust James. Since he's James' only ally, there's no reason to have James record Carol and Rhea discussing the vote and have James record them for Aiden to believe it. But then again, Aiden might not believe Carol's still bad, so I guess I can excuse it here, especially since it's one of the more early instances. Also, credit to the remake for not making James right in front of Carol and Rhea. Moving on, we got All-Stars, where Aiden oversees Alec and Rhea kissing, then later tells everyone. And when he does eventually tell everyone, nobody gives a fuck. The whole move was incredibly pointless. I think Connor might have cared? I honestly don't remember, and you can't force me to watch All-Stars again to find out. But in that case, why not make Connor be the one to see it? It just seems really pointless, in my opinion, for Aiden to see it, especially since it's directly affecting Connor. And it didn't need to happen. And with that, we're on to Season 5, the most recent instance and probably the worst one. After Aiden swapped and the fans lose for a second time, everyone says they want to vote out Evie. For some reason, Aiden says they need to vote out Ernesto for being a threat. And if Ernesto was a threat, why not wait to vote him out in the, merge? Is he more useful to you as a threat while he's on your team? It made no sense, and they just wanted an excuse to keep Evie in for some reason. They better do something with her, I swear, because she's so annoying recently for me. The fact Aiden also believed about the advantage doesn't make any sense when he literally mocked Alec in episode 1 about it. Now then, another alliance naturally forms because Ren's friends with Ernesto and is friends with Dunya, who's friends with Ara, and then he includes Manu for whatever reason, presumably because he has no allies. Ren's plan is simple. All of them will vote Evie, and with that have a majority vote. However, Aiden just so happened to follow them, and they don't see him. Which is pointless because he could literally just tell Manu this in a different way. Here's my solution. Everything stays the same except for Aiden overhearing part. That doesn't happen. Right before the vote, Aiden sees Manu conflicted and asks him who he's voting. Manu truthfully says that he's going to be voting Evie tonight. Aiden then tells him that Evie has an advantage, and it would be a better move to keep her in and align with her than to vote her off. Manu gets defensive and, just like the original, says, "Are you threatening me?" Aiden replies the same way as in the original. The vote is 6-5 with Ernesto going here, but now it doesn't feel as repetitive. It honestly feels like when the writers don't know how to keep one person in, which honestly, if you need to do all this just to keep one person in, wouldn't it just be better to eliminate them and potentially bring them back later? Maybe hot take, but not every single elimination has to be a surprise. It's really pointless. I don't see why Evie had to stay in over Ernesto. Ernesto also went through all those design changes just to be eliminated second. What is Evie gonna do that Ernesto couldn't do? Genuinely. I promise you, she's gonna be eliminated next at this point. And even then, if she's not, she's probably in the finale. It honestly is such a stupid move from Aiden, and it's not even his fault. It's the writers for making him so stupid for no reason. He had better moves in Season 2. In the remake, you literally changed his personality so he would be more strategic, and he's not strategic here. He's just being stupid and making a stupid move for literally no reason. There's no benefit in keeping Evie in, except for her advantage, but wouldn't you rather flush her advantage so it doesn't, backfire on you? I would do that. I'd rather flush her advantage knowing she has it than keeping her in, But he also seems to like Evie personality-wise. He was really supportive to her during the challenge and stuff. I don't know why he likes her. Maybe he reminds her of Miriam. Wait, he didn't talk to Miriam. Maybe he reminds her of his grandma. Wait, that was Jake. And Allie. And, oh. Why does he like Evie so much? There's a whole new conversation right there. Why does Aiden like Evie so much? What did Evie do? Is it because she's nice? But that's a stupid reason. I know he's a good person, but why? There's no reason to. I don't know. This whole writing is pissing me off, and I think season 5's gonna end up just like season 4. In that case, I think I know how it's gonna end. They're gonna make one character of the fans or the favorites that's really unlikable win. So that means Tom's winning the season. Hey, who's ready for Tom win? The writers so desperately want, even though they have Miriam's money to fall back on. Honestly, only 3 episodes in season 5, and I'm already ready to drop it. I literally just came back to the fandom too, and with how things are going, I think I want to leave it again. Not because of the fandom, but because of the freaking writers. The writers suck, and they've been sucking at writing since season 3. Season 4 was kind of an upgrade, but even then I didn't like it as much. Because they eliminated all the good characters except for Isabel really early on. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. See you in the next one, if the next episode doesn't suck as much. Or if it does suck as much. Probably if it sucks more. If it sucks more, then I'll make another video on it. That's all. Peace out.